So that was interesting. I haven't raised my hand the entire time. First time I raise my hand, I get picked. So I don't know what that means, except I'm supposed to ask the question that I've been.
Well, here's what it means. We rarely pick someone who doesn't raise their hand, but we have done it, but because we want their conscious agreement of the interchange.
Right.
But we don't pick because someone has their hand in the air. We pick because there is a desire that is active within them, and they are somewhere in the vibrational vicinity, so we know that it's going to be a comfortable exchange. And so we came to that knowing, and you came to that knowing at precisely the same moment. That was a rendezvous point.
Right.
That was a manifestation where you knew it and we knew it at the same moment.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something earlier that I think 55 countries right now are watching this around or represented. And so my question ties into religion. And I think that could be significant considering there's so many different diverse people that are watching. And something that I learned when I was really just becoming an adult around 18, around that age anyway, was that to study as if your life depended upon it, because it does. When you get to that point where you're studying or you're seeking, it doesn't necessarily mean reading a book only, but just you're studying life. You're trying to seek out truth. And I've been doing this my entire adult life, and I constantly get led in one direction, and I absorb it.
How do you know when you've found a truth?
That's where my question is going, tying into that exactly.
Well, the way you know you found a truth is because the truth that you're seeking is the resonance of who you've become. That's the truth that you're seeking. And most people are trying to teach their children all the truths of all the other people.
Right.
In other words, you need to blend with that truth, and you need to blend with that truth, and please, 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 parents say, blend with the loudest, most powerful truths, because they'll give you grief if you don't.
Right.
Where the truth that you are wanting to find resonance with is the expanded version of you, the source within you, you see. Any excuse you use for that blending is a perfect excuse.
Right.
But it's the blending with who you are that is the truth that you are all seeking.
So you allow everybody else to have their opinion, which I have no...
How could that which man calls God, if it is as we say, and it is, that source is holding you all as objects of attention and not freaking out about where you are, and yet you're in lots of different political parties, you're in lots of different religions, you're in lots of different lifestyle settings. In other words, if anyone does believe in that which he wants to call God, don't you have to accept that it is a benevolent God that is allowing in nature when you just look around at the sheer diversity of what's around you?
Absolutely.
Doesn't that let you know something of the nature of the source that is within you, you see?
So it's the truth behind the truth. In other words, what you determine as your truth individually, everybody has their own version of the truth that they're living, right? So that means what's behind, I guess the truth that I'm seeking is what's behind the truth. Because if somebody gives a definition to something that says, this is what I believe, so therefore it's true. And that may be true for them, but for yourself.
And they're accurate because when they believe it, it's their point of attraction. And their life experience will represent it. You find a belief, you offer the vibration of it, things that match it come to you, and you say, see, I told you it was true.
Right.
When Esther first began receiving us, she was quite excited because she has always been, as you are, a seeker of truth. And she thought, oh good, now Abraham can tell me who's lying. So she deliberately turned on the television judge show, a television judge. And she sat down, asked us to join her, and we watched a segment together, and then she said, who's telling the truth? And we said to Esther, there's a better question that you could ask. Which of these believes what they're saying? And we said to Esther, in this case, they both do. Different point of view, they saw it completely different, but they both believed what they were saying. Well, that was upsetting to Esther. Then how can anyone ever sort out the truth when two opposing opinions are both believed? Abraham, your criteria can't be right. You got to choose one or the other. And we say each individual is finding alignment with that which they are. So when you want something and believe it, there's no resistance. And when there's no resistance, it must become manifestationally evidenced, you see. And that's what humans want to call truth. Humans want to call things true that a lot of people can point out and agree upon. And we say, there's hardly any of those things that you all agree upon. They are rarer than you even want to know.
Wow. Wow.
It's like the inconsistency of the bottle of water being found in Barbara's bag when it's been there in the bottom of that bag for the last 5 flights. These things, in the way that you mean truth, are true. You are source energy, represented here in a physical body. You are a vibrational being more than you are anything else. Everything about what happens to you is about the vibrational offering that you are presenting, whether you're doing it purposefully or by default. Law of attraction is the manager of all of these vibrations and will bring to you whatever is dominant in your vibration. The better you feel, the more relaxed your vibration is, and the more you allow the dominance of the vibration within you. And when you offer little resistance by practicing feelings that feel good, by reaching for thoughts that feel as good as you can find in any moment in time, eventually you come into such alignment with the whole of who you are that you live life from that standpoint of attraction. And that's what everyone is seeking. You came into this body not subservient or less than the source from which you sprang. You came to explore and expand and to become more, understanding that as the source within you becomes more, that you would feel the vibrational variance which would give you the guiding light in order to come into alignment with who you are. Because the truth of your being is one of expansion. And without expansion, there cannot be the eternalness. And so it all fits together. You are an eternally joyful, expanding being, you see. And that's the only truth that matters. Who you really are is one who loves, one who is joyful, one who feels good. And so as you strive to come into alignment with that, and you have the manifestational evidence of it day in and day out, you're fulfilling your only reason for being. And what is that only reason for being? Joyous expansion. The vibration of a question and the vibration of an answer are two different frequencies. The vibration of a problem and the vibration of a solution are two different frequencies. So when you stop asking the question or beating the drum of the problem, now in the absence of that vibration, the solution can reveal itself to you. And you feel the relief of it the moment you let it go. So you just brought this conversation into a whole new level and to a whole new arena. Let's now say, make peace with your problem by just letting it sit where it is. And in doing so, the solution must show up. But if you keep examining the problem, talking about the problem, measuring the problem, speaking of the problem, you hold yourself in defiance to the solution that would be there if you weren't doing that.